Okay, so we're going to go ahead and get started. I have this cute fuzzy duckling book. This is the one that's missing its cover page. So we're going to work around that. And normally I would leave this, if it was like just somebody's name, but I don't love this messy. I don't love the messy. So we're going to go ahead and first we're going to take it apart, and then start working with it. And I will show you how we're going to do that. So I'm going to try to find the middle of the book. I want to find where the two signatures, oh, that's not quite it, come apart. That looks like it to me. If you can see that, these are the two signatures. If you're not familiar, signatures are just like sections in the book. So what I want to do is use my brute strength and really start pulling that apart. I will tell you it's hard to do. There are lights set up to this side, lights set up to that side, and then I've got my camera holder above me, and so it kind of limits my ability to move. We're gonna do it though. All right, that's a lot. So we've got it started. Let me see. Let me find that again. There we go. Let me find that separation again. So what I want to do is keep going. This is an older book. Oh, there we go. Yes. And I'm going to show you what I do. The way I put my spines and my pieces together is kind of different from the way other people do. But first I've got to get the doggone thing apart. Okay, there we go. This one's pulling out nice. Okay, so now I really gently want to do that because I don't want anything to rip. So now I'm going to grab my little toolkit. My husband bought this for me years ago. I do love it. I think one of these would be fine. I don't think I need anything heavy duty for this right now. Because all I want to do is push these back so they don't rip this next signature as I pull it off. Here we go. That should be okay. Okay. There we go. So now I can see that indeed I'm only missing that sort of that front title page, which is unfortunate, but it's the way it is. I'm going to keep these. I think these are really interesting. This is going to make some very cool ephemera, and I just haven't decided whether it's going to be in this book or a different one. But it's just really interesting. I kind of love it. It's super cool. Okay, so I'm gonna put that out of the way. You can see a little bit of the mess scattered, but what you can't see are stacks of stuff. So sad. All right, now there are quite a few people. I'm gonna move this out of the way for a minute. Who literally just cut along. They'll cut. Maybe that. Oh my goodness! Oh my word! Seriously? All right, I want to show you this. I moved this to sit over to the side, and somehow this paper has gotten stuck. How? There we go. How did it get stuck in the zipper? Okay. All right, sorry. A little bit of drama. Back to what I was saying. So there are a lot of people who will cut the spine right here along the hinge, basically. And then they'll go from there. I don't like to lose the hinge because that gives me that little bit of extra space, and that means I don't really have to cut down my signatures because I hate cutting down the signatures. I don't like it. So I'm going to keep those, and I'm going to show you what I do to those to ensure that that they stay nice and stiff. Otherwise, if I don't cut them down, you see I've got like a roly-poly thing going here, which isn't necessarily horrible, but it's not really what I want for this one. So I'm going to start by, what is that thing? I don't see my, okay. I'm going to start by just cutting this. At the moment, I'm not too worried about being neat. I will neaten it up in a little bit. There we go. I just want to separate it. That is a cool older one. I love some of these little older designs. Anyway, I digress. So now what I need to do is I need to get out these staples. So I have a really nice little, I have several blades. But for some reason, as I've transferred things downstairs, just, if you've been with me for a little bit, you know that all of this was upstairs and I've been moving things downstairs. That actually came out really, really easy. So as I move things downstairs, you know, stuff gets misplaced, things get set down. Oh, well. It sounds so dramatic. Oh, I've lost it now. First off, it's not lost, it's just misplaced. And secondly, I don't need to be dramatic. I have a pretty wonderful life. I have amazing children. I have a job that I enjoy. I love doing this too. Love, love, love it. I have a fabulous husband and a great family. What more could you want? Yeah. Financial independence would be lovely, but you know. Okay. There we go. Cute little thing. All right, so now, easy peasy, I've got my book apart. And I have my cute little signatures going. So I'm trying to decide what to start with. I often actually start with my signatures, but today I think we're going to go ahead and just do work on the cover and see how far we get with that. One thing about junk journals, they're not quick. So I recently showed one of the junk journals that I had finished. I think it was called Cottontail or something. It's over there in front of me, but I can't read it. Because I'm putting some together for the upcoming show. And I completely lost my train of thought. I have no idea what I was about to say. None. I was going to tell you all something. It's gone. Woohoo. Oh, I was saying, that's what it was. Junk journals are super fun and very time consuming. The one that I showed recently isn't even close to being finished with everything that I would like to include in it. So I'll keep adding bits and pieces until it's really much fuller and it has more ephemera in it. But it's not quick. I'm just saying, it is not quick. So, okay, so these are set, and when I do my count, let's see, I'll put this here. Okay, so this is not quite 8 inches tall. So we are looking at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It's like 7 3/4, just above. So probably 7 7/8. But it is 6 inches, I believe. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Get it right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This so the cover's a little bit longer than 6, almost 6.5 inches. What that leaves me with, and I'm going to double check this. I'm going to double check this real quick against my measurements here. So, more like, golly, it's a little less than 6 3/4. And then height wise, I'm sorry, I've got it over here on this side. It is, yeah, 7 7/8. So it just tells me how tall my paper needs to be and what I need to consider as I'm putting it together. Now, as you fill a book like that, and for those of you who are in a junk journal, you know, but for anyone who doesn't, you know, I don't want to leave you in the dark. So as we fill the book, it will get thicker. And so even if I, you know, depending on how I'm cutting my papers or putting things together, it'll get thicker. I'm just saying, I'm over explaining things. It is like I've said that before. I'm so bad at over explaining things, and I'm trying really hard to get better at not doing that. So let me grab this. So I have a bunch of fresh. Every time I say I'm sorry, I keep digressing. Every time I say fresh, all I can think of is Hocus Pocus, where Winifred says, "And make it a fresh one." Okay. Anyway, I'm done. I'll stop. Anyway, I have a bunch of chipboard left over from different projects, and I keep a bag of it just in case I can use some for you know, whatever project I'm working on. What I like to do is use it up. It doesn't always work that way. Some of this is too flimsy for this is definitely too flimsy for my spine, but I do sometimes use this here, and I'll show you what I'm doing. I thought I had a piece that I'd put together and that I could use for this. Yeah, no, I don't. All right, so we're gonna, now this is thicker than this. This is very thin. So I used this on my last one. And what I simply did, I had several pieces that were about like this length. And I simply glued 2 of them together. And what we're going to do is we're going to create a brace for this fold so it doesn't keep folding in here. Actually, this is what I did for the last one. Is it? Maybe I did 3. Anyway, because the brace does have to hold it in place. Here we go. Here's some extra pieces that I used. So I want to say that I used 2. Yeah, I think I just used 2, but do I have enough to do that again? I don't think I do. Okay. I don't think I do. I don't have enough to use this particular one. Is it the same one? It is. Okay. So I think what I did was I doubled up. I don't know. And all right, we're working it out now. We're figuring it out now. So is that strong enough to hold it in place? I think it is. I think that's going to be strong enough, even though it's not particularly thick, to hold that in place. What I have done in the past is double them up. What I don't want is a big lump. I don't want it to look like I've done a whole lot of jiggery pokery, as my husband says, to get it where I need it to be. So let me put this out of the way, my box of offcuts. Move that over there. And I do think this is thick enough. Okay. So, yeah. I'm going to use the edges of the book. Yeah. maybe just a slight over. If you can see what I'm doing here, I'll put that up. I'm going to bring it down to the edge of the book. It's going to be pretty close. Can I get it? If I do it there, do I risk? Yeah, it's got to be right there. Yeah, I'm just playing with it a little bit. I just did this, and I don't know. It's honestly, in some ways, that's kind of cool. Each time you do it, it's all fresh and new. So the first thing I want to do is to make sure that I have it the right size. And so the easiest thing for me to do is to just kind of line it up. And then I should have, but I don't know what I've done with it. I have one of the finger straight edges. I really don't know what I've done with it. That is super weird. Let me spin this around for a minute. See if it's over on this side. Oh, my word. Yes. Haha. Eureka. Here we go. Oh, and right away it twists on me. Perfect. I have to be really careful here, because if I'm not careful, I could end up cutting through the edge of the book, and I really don't want to do that. Okay. Let me measure that up. Make sure that it's exactly where I need it to be. I'm going to do this. Yep. Perfect. All right, so that is exactly, it's right on those edges. Now, yes, if I push into it, I can, but it's right on those edges. So for the next one, I'm just going to do the same thing. Alrighty, there we go. They're exactly the same. And I'll put my little offcuts, because you just never know when you can use those again. So now we're going to go ahead and attach this and brace up the book. I'm also going to take, this is one of my bone folders, and I'm just going to smooth out those holes. Okay. So I don't use, there it is. I use a little bit of this, and this is the same stuff, the crafter's tape, that you can get at Hobby Lobby. Now I have other really good tape, and I could certainly use that. I like to go over the edge. It's easy to clean up off of the, oh, so sticky, off of the side. But once I get this on, I'm going to add in a layer of glue. Basically, the tape is what's going to hold it in place for me to ensure that my glue has time to dry, even though this glue dries super duper fast. I use art glitter glue. I'll show you the bottle in just a minute. Let me get this in place. All right, I think I am going to do it this way. I'm actually going to put this all the way to the edges. I wasn't sure I wanted to do that, but once I put everything else in place, once the spine is on, once the fabric is over the top, once the T-back is over the top of it, everything is in place, it will hold really, really well. But I definitely want to make sure I'm burnishing a little bit, and then I'll set it aside for a few minutes to finish drying. Yeah, that's good and solid. All right. So again, if I didn't do that, I would lose that much width. And I don't want to lose that much. I just don't want to. So there. All right, let's do that again. On this one. Now, as I said, I am going to do something on the inside of the book. It's probably not going to be fully covered. Probably a library pocket. Because I do have some older library pockets. Some used. I should just say used. Oh, don't do that. That'll stick permanently. This stuff. I was going to show you. I buy my art glitter glue in this 16-ounce containers, and then I just fill these little bottles, and I buy these at Hobby Lobby. I'm sure there are plenty of other places. These I find with models. I don't find them in the paper goods section, so when I'm looking for these, I go to the modeling section. I actually just bought a whole nother 6-pack of them, because this will eventually just kind of wear away. I've had a couple of these rip, but it fills really well. I have found that when I buy the 16-ounce, it is cheaper for me, at least where I've been purchasing it. I'm trying to remember. I think it's through Walmart. It's cheaper to buy the 16 than the bigger ones. I don't know why. I have no clue. But when I compare the prices, that is what it is telling me. It's telling me that is cheaper. Now it won't go back. Will, you silly thing. Go back in where you belong. Okay. So let's go ahead and this glue dries, honestly, super duper fast. I do find that when I'm putting it on adhesive, it does help a little bit. And even though it appears to be dry, that generally just means that it is setting. Okay, I'll make sure. Yep, there we go. Okie dokie. Now, so when I cover it, you won't see that. And I'll go kind of on the one side. This must be an older one, because that is definitely, well, I can't, like I said, since the cover page is gone, there's no way for me to pull up the actual date on that one. It was certainly after Sesame Street, because this one actually says Sesame Street. But this certainly looks like an older background. Okay, so, we've got our cover. This is going to be hidden. I do know there are some people who managed to salvage that. I am just, for me, that's just taking too long. I really wanted to do this cute little fuzzy duckling, though. Oh, he's so adorable. So now I want to create my spine. Let me find my big slicer dicer. Oh, it's under here. Okay. This big hunk of, I don't know what I want to call it. Hunk of junk. It's not a hunk of junk. This big mama llama. I bought this for myself, literally just for this purpose, to help me cut my chipboard, because the chipboard is just kind of a pain. I mean, kind of. So my last journal, I did a 2-inch spine, and I like the 2-inch spines. Did I do 2 or 3? All right. I'll just have to think about it. Well, let's just think about that. So I'll do 4 signatures. I may do a 3-inch spine on this one. Maybe. We'll see. Anyway, got to decide soon because I'm about to start cutting. So let me find a piece of stuck under here. So I'm going to go ahead and use this piece right here. This is actually from, I don't even know what. This is clearly one of my recycled pieces. But there's no reason not to use it. It's honestly just chipboard. And as such, it should be used. What I am going to do is just go ahead and give myself some lines to cut. I don't know why I did one. That was funny. There was literally no I'm not even going to go there. There was no need for me to do that one. I just needed to know the top line. But that's kind of how I'm rolling tonight, so we'll go with it. All right, so I left that there. I'm not going to worry about it yet. I don't need to do anything with it yet because the first thing I need to decide is how big is my spine going to be? If I do a 3-inch spine, that's a pretty big spine. Now for my albums, I probably, mostly I do 3-inch. A 2-inch spine looks too short. So what if we do a 2.5-inch spine? Is that going to be, Is 3-inch too big? I mean, 3 inches is kind of big. All right, we'll do the 2.5. We're going to do a 2.5-inch. I've got to think, sorry. As far as what happened with the last one. Oh, heck, let's just do a 3-inch. I should stop waffling about it. Oh, my word. This should be easy to cut. Holy cow, it's twisting on me. That's not good. You do not want it to twist on you. Okay, I'm going to pull this back out again. I do not know why this is so hard to cut. But that is incredibly hard to cut. Huh. And I don't want, you can see, although it's very slight, it left me with taper, and I do not want to taper. So I'm going to put that one aside. I will work with that later when I have some time to give it. Let me see if I can find one of my normal pieces of, I didn't realize how heavy duty that one was. I'll try this one. All right. We'll start by doing, we're going to try one more time to do this 3-inch spine. Can you hear my hubby? He just came in to put some food away. Oh my goodness. Okay, phew. All right, so there we go. That's better. So we've got, maybe I should stop for a minute.
It's all right.
He's so loud. So we've got this. This was another recycled piece from something else. But it's a good, strong chipboard, so I'm okay using this one. Now I need to go back and figure out my height. I do also want to make sure that this measures the same top and bottom, that I didn't. Wow, it actually is off again. Like by a smidge. I don't know whether my blade is off. I'm going to line it up here again. Let's see if we can't. I mean, honestly, when I line it up, let's see. It is incredibly slight. Okay. I'm not going to worry about it. I'm being silly. When I put it together, this won't be flush. Here's the thing, and this is why I'm being foolish. This is not going to be flush with this. So if it's not perfect, it doesn't matter because these have to be about 1/8 of an inch apart. So this can turn. So this can close. So, you know, no one's going to notice that other than me, and I'm being silly. I'm going to stop being silly. That's very difficult for me. I will tell you, super duper, but perfection is, you know, way overrated. This is so hard to cut today. I am guessing that I need a new blade because I've been cutting a lot of stuff lately. All right, so there we go. We've got that first. Let me get this out of the way. All right, we've got a spine done, which is super exciting. Now it's time to start looking at putting it together. So that, and I'm having another hot flash. So if you'll excuse me for 1 second, I'm just going to tear that sweater off my body as if it was attacking me. Okay, so now there we go. Oh, here we go. All right. So when I have these, this is Tyvek, and envelopes are made out of it. I found some finally at Dollar Tree had some envelopes, but I don't know why I just said, oh, good Lord. Okay, Dollar Tree had some envelopes recently, and they are with my haul, but I have this one that I've already started, so I'm going to work with this one. There, I got it out of my mouth. Gracious, that was ridiculous. Okay, so what I want to see how much over I need to go. So let's do it that way. When I cover this up, I do not want to cover up the word duckling. So I'm kind of measuring how much I need to do as opposed to, now I also with some, at times, and actually with my last one, you can put this piece on the front or the back. So my last one, I think I put it on the front. Yeah, we're just going to test it out. We'll see. But it has to go over the top of this one. And this is 3/4 of an inch. And it needs to go just over. So I think what we're going to do is 1 inch there. Yeah. We'll do 1 inch on either side. I think that's going to be okay. Let me take a look. So if I do a full inch over, that is where this will be. That's further than I want it to be. All right. We're going to hold to the 3/4 inch for the Tyvek. And the reason I'm doing that is when I put, you know, I will cover this, once this is on, I will then cover it with material. And then once the material is on, I always add some kind of rickrack to the side here. Well, I don't want the rickrack to cover my duckling word. So I'm just going to be cautious about that. So if I do 3/4 of an inch on either side, that gives me another 1.5 inches. This is 3 inches. So I'm now at 4.5 inches. No, is that right? If I do 3/4 of an inch, I have 1.5 inches, right? Times 2. And then this is 3 inches, so now I have 4.5 inches. And I need to ensure that I have like 1/8 of an inch. That goes here. So that gives me 1/4 inch. So I'm cutting the tie back to 4 3/4 inches. Let's hope that's right. Okay. We're going to cut the tie back to 4 3/4 inches. Okay. Holy cow, that should not be that hard. I taught math. Okay. This is my old, very, very old cutter. Good gracious, this thing is old. And it was terrible because the numbers and the markings were just so incredibly dark. It just made it really super hard to see anything. So that's 4 3/4 inches, and it looks really big to me, but you know, let me see if it actually is, because that's always something yeah, it's really not going to be too big. Okay, because we have this bigger spine. Okay, that's perfect. Now I'm going to take this. All right, so I was telling you before, Tyvek can't tear. It just doesn't. You can cut it, of course, but it's not going to tear. So if I end up, when I have to use these envelopes, and I had some extra ones in my stash just because I often have envelopes just so I can send things. When I do that, I want the back of my spine, the one that's going to be showing from the outside, I want to use just this white part as best I can. The rest of it ends up getting covered up, so if something peeks through, like a little bit of, I'll show you. So see on the back here, you got a lot of writing, a lot of stuff going on. If you have, with some materials, that can peek through. And I do not want it to peek through. So I'm going to go ahead and, let's see, how far up does this go? That is going to take care of most of it. So I'm going to actually cut this. Where do my scissors go? I'm going to cut this right here. I'm going to line it up again. I'll put my Tyvek away because I really try to use as much of the space as I can get. All right. I'm really eyeballing this right now. That's how I roll. Okay. So if I do that, you can see I have this really nice pure white. So if for some reason the material is a little bit lighter, it's just going to have that in the background. So not too worried about that one. Okay. And I've pushed that down. Yay. Now comes the fun part. Tyvek is just super duper fun to attach stuff to. And when I say super duper fun, I mean, not really. I have a little bit of this extra stuff hanging on here. I'm going to try to get that off. That's a previous glue from whatever was on here. Some kind of a booklet or something. Okay. Let's see. So we're going to call this part 1. What I will do is, this is going to be a huge, long video. I could break it into parts. Some of this you may not see. I've done this before. I have had, previously, I've done some of these in parts. I'm going to actually try to attach this. So you may not hear me talking at all. You may just see something zooming by. Okay. Okay. So what I have here is some of this really good double-sided tape, and we're going to do what we did before, which is I'm going to tape it and I'm going to glue it, and that should get it to hold properly, to give me, a really good coverage. Side. Is there any particular side I want to use? No, well, let's go this way. No, let's go that way. Let's call the whole thing off. I hope you can see this. I'm trying to put it where we can both see, where we can all see. Okay. First piece down. And this stuff is incredibly strong. I love it. Okay. I am trying very hard to get right on up to the edge. The tape is somewhat forgiving, so I can only in that, if I'm not perfect, I can kind of mush it around and it still looks really straight. What I don't want are raised portions. So next, I am going to burnish this thing down. That is going to make it, really what it does is it forces the adhesives into the very fiber of the chipboard. And that's really what you want, because that's going to give you, a really good strong hold. So let's do this. Little Bert once again has a ton of homework, so he's working with Dad, who's had a couple of days off, and giving me a chance to get caught up on some of this. Okay. Because these are going to go into, there we go, the upcoming craft fair. Okay. So we got that one. I love this. Is a Dollar Tree. This actually came with my scoreboard, but this came from Dollar Tree, and it is fabulous. It is meant to be, I believe, a tool for your Cricut, but it's wonderful for pulling the tape up. I'm using that. Okay, so here we go. I'm going to go fast. This spreads really well. For the most part, it does not show up. Depending on the material. For the most part, with the materials that I use, it does not show up. Let's get a little bit here. Oh, wow. That just pulled away from the board itself. Don't want to do that. All right, now let's get this on here straight before it dries. I'm going to do it this way. Wow. This is a pain. Okay, well, I've got a little bit more on this side than this side. It should still be fine. Okay, so we've got our spine down, looking pretty good. So the next thing we're going to do is attach these pieces. I'm just going to take a quick peek at the stuff building up. I have to keep putting my stuff away. I hate putting my stuff away. I want to leave my toys all over the place. Yeah, it'll be fine. Yeah, I probably should have made it a little bit longer for the back, but it will be fine. I'm going to make sure. I want to look at the front of this and figure out where that's going to go. Oh, yeah, it'll be fine. All right. I'm going to use the kind of longer side. All right, here we go. So for this one, I want good coverage here. So for this one, I want good coverage here. Little Brett's coming in to tell me something, so.
Can I take a break?
Yes. He's taking a break from his homework.
I've gotten 2 of my 4 assignments done.
Awesome.
The other 2, I need to actually have the book.
Okay.
Oh.
All right. He's getting work done. That's good. Okay. So next. So what are we going to do next with this one is, don't you love the interruptions? Or the, it's okay. He's pretty cute, so I guess I'll keep him. So with this one, it's going to be easier for me. I normally would not do it this way, but this is just different. These are just a little bit different. So with this one, I'm going to attach my tape directly. Where's my... This is why I shouldn't put things away. Now I don't know where they are. I really don't. What did I do with that? Guys. There it is. It's a completely different side. Okay, so with this one, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm pulling it off. I'm going to go ahead and get my my tape down first. Now, I have taped all the way up to the edge of the book, and it's fine. For this one, there we go. So I have different sizes of this tape. You may see every single size today. All right. One of the things I like about it, though, is that it does help me, I guess, measure properly. So I think that, yeah, this one's going to go. This one's going to be okay. Yep, and it goes thinner still. Where's my thin one? Look at how thin this stuff gets. It's crazy. Okay. Just have to find my edge. Because what I'm really trying to do, yeah, is tape up to the part that I want, and then leave the part that's not going to be adhered. Oh, look how crooked that is. Oh, it's going to drive me crazy. I'm not going to look. I'm not going to look. I'm not going to look. This one's crooked too, but yeah, it is what it is. It is what it is. I have got to step away from perfection. Is so overrated, and it really won't affect the book at all. It won't. Because I will be able to put a little bit of glue there in those spots and bring it up to where I need it to be, and I'm just being silly. I'm just being silly. Okay. Okay, so I'm going to do one side at a time. This is the top. So this is the top, and the reason is so that I can cover it with mostly the white on the inside, which does kind of help me get, it certainly helps me get, keep it as light as possible so these bright colors don't bleed through. Okay. If only I could talk. What a wonderful world. All right, so we're going to start by pulling off some of the tape for this side. Then, okay, so now we're going to have some glue. And what I'm going to do, you can tell, I'm adding the extra glue to where I want everything to go. Because, if I line this up well, that's pretty good. Can you all see that? Okay, I think that's pretty good. Here we go. Turn it over. I got a little bit of extra glue there. It's fine. I'm just gonna wipe it off real quick. There we go. Oh, I love it when it starts to come together. I really do. I just get so excited. All right. Once I have this part together, since we're almost an hour in, I'm going to stop and then I will do more tomorrow, but I'll also look to see if there's something I can speed up. So you may or may not hear me talking as much. What a blessing. Okay, here we go. Let's get some of this on here. This is one of the reasons that people end up charging, you know, a decent amount for their junk journals, because they're not like a quickie thing that you put together. These involve, to some extent, it's a little bit of blood, sweat, and tears, you know? You put a lot of yourself into these. And they're really, I will say this is my art. I enjoy it. And, you know, no one else has to think of it as art. I do. And the people that I had, who are, you know, so many people that I've seen who do journals and junk journals, they're just amazing in some of the things that they can do. So that's just me. Okay, let me get that off there. All right, so we've got the basic spine in place. Now I'm going to finish up and attach the inside. And again, I'm going to attach to my paper, to my Tyvek. I'm not putting my my adhesives directly on the book. They will be on the book, but if I put it here and I'm off by measurements, it could look funky. But if I put it on the, you know, if I put it here, then I've just got good coverage. So I don't want it to look funky. That wouldn't be good. Gracious. All right. This next one, I am going to do this, and I know that looks funky, but it's okay. So I know that went over some, but the adhesive is just gonna work its way in. So instead of my switching off and changing, you know, types of adhesive, and I just did it like that. Quick and easy. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put my adhesive on the back of this one next. And then I do want, as I said, I want that one to be the one on top. So I could tap it 1 or 2 more times just to make the point, but that'd be overkill, right? Like maybe I didn't need to tap it the first 5 times. trying to move this over. I said before that it was forgiving, but it can also be a pain in the neck. All right. And I want to be careful. I've got my book kind of hanging over the edge right now. I don't want to do that. I do keep kind of running my hand along it only because, shoot, I don't want to do it that way. With 2 dogs, I don't know how when they shed, it gets in here. It's not working for me. I don't know how when they shed, it gets in here, but it does. And I guess I can't complain about them because I shed. Do you all shed hair? I swear, it doesn't even make sense how much hair I lose. I still have really thick hair. But I definitely shed some hair, guys. I mean, daggone. All right, here we go. Come on. Now you can see for this one, I am not worried as much. I'm so far off on some of these. I'm not worried as much about total absolute minutia of coverage. I'm going to put one of these little guys right down the middle. Because this is going, there's so much that's going to go over the top of this. The signatures go here. The stretchy spine parts go there. So it's not going anywhere. Still. A lot of stuff. Okay. Got that one on. We've got that one on. Here we go. All right, we're going to take this one off. And of course, you guys are already ready for it. We'll need some glue. One thing I like about this with the steel is this adhesive does not attach to it. And this adhesive attaches to everything. It is strong as get-go. I will see. I can't guarantee that I can find this at the moment, but if I can, I will definitely try to link it for you guys down below. There you go. I love it when it's nice and tight and crisp. It just feels good. I don't know how to explain that. That might sound weird, and it might be weird, but it does. It just feels so smooth and good when I get that really nice coverage for it. Move this down further. Moving some lights around for you guys. I don't think that's making a darn bit of difference. Isn't that funny? So, yeah, you got to be careful because with this thing, you can get under the tape instead of taking this guy off. You definitely do not want to take the tape off, but it can. All right, so just, this one's going to be easier. There we go. Smooth. All right, now we're on the final stretches of having this, the first step of this, which is basically rebuilding your book. So, yeah, it's the end of the grading period, and little Brit, at the very beginning of the grading period, honestly, I think it was the first week of school. I mean, not school, the first week of the newest grading period. He got sick, and then I got sick, and we were really sick, weak, sick. I was sure it was COVID or a version of it, and we were very, very, very ill. And he ended up missing a week of school. And I will tell you, that is super difficult to catch back up on. So it's been kind of a, long haul trying to catch up on that. Okay, so I will show you. You can see that right here, I didn't cover this whole piece. It doesn't matter. This is going to be covered by the fabric piece that I put in place. It's good and tight anyway. I've got a good coverage from the front and everything is solid. Look at that. Look how pretty that is. Sorry. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm actually going to just run my bone thing tool along there. And there you go. This actually worked out really well because it is closing really easily. I am loving that. So I will say that I'm kind of funky this way, although I'm looking forward to putting a really cute duck type fabric over the top of this. I really like this. I would not mind leaving it like this sometime. Maybe someday I will. I wouldn't want this, so I have to, I have to go back and reorder the regular Tyvek that's just pure white all the way around. But I like that. I think that just looks crisp and pretty. Anyway, that's step one. We have, we've taken the book apart and we have rebuilt the spine, and it's ready for some signatures. And finishing. So I'm going to put this aside for right now, and I actually will be working on the signatures next, and then I'll come back and finish the spine when it's all together, because I'll have a better flavor for the book. It just kind of, I don't know how to explain it, builds itself as I'm building and putting things together and putting deciding on the papers that go into it. I get just kind of a feel for what should be on the outside. So that's kind of where my head is right now, what I'm thinking. But that's where we are, and I will add some more in later so that this can be one long video for you to sit down and watch as if we were, doing it together, as if this was live. I really wish I could do live ones, and I will. I promise you, come this summer, we will have some live events where we can do junk journaling together or building something together. Anyway, so this is where it is right now. I hope you enjoyed it. I love it. I love that. I'm so excited about this one.